Let's get into the MLB best bets for Saturday, July 12th. Welcome back to TBM Sports. I'm Mark, and let's run the board, and we'll recap kind of what we had going on yesterday in the MLB and talk about kind of the excitement that we have coming about the All-Star games next weekend. We do get the Futures game today, so shout out to them young pups coming through the ranks, and that should be exciting. If you guys are baseball junkies, I do suggest tuning into to that, or at least if you are a sports card collector within the prospect world, check that one out. Okay, so let's get into what we have going on in the MLB. For those of you that are new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. I want to thank all my channel members, and we are making moves. Okay, so I am, like I said, the platform will be built shortly. That's where we're going to start ramping up the content, and we're going to kind of go full circle, get this all done before football season. So if you guys have any requests, suggestions within premium content, anything that you guys have seen in the past, or you do want to see implemented in what I'm going to do, feel free. Suggestion box is open. Message me on Discord down below in the comments, what have you. Okay, so let's get into the action today. We will use Outlier as always to break this down. So a little inside look to some premium content and stuff within this subscription to Outlier. If you're not using Outlier, links are down below for a 7-day free trial. Check it out and really ramp up your sports betting, as I think it is the best tool that I use from a day-to-day on a day-to-day basis. There's a couple other ones that I do pay for, so we'll see. Let me know what you guys think as well on that one. Okay, but let's look into that first game, and I do want to talk about what we had yesterday. 2-2 on the day, a little split there. We took the Guardians game 1 and the we had the under cash within the Pirates and the Twins first. It was the first 3 innings under. That one paid out within Skeens and Joe Ryan pitching. However, I want to kind of make a mention that the Tigers kind of shit the bed yesterday. Skewball, it's a very, he must have something wrong with the Mariners. That was another loss that he had against the Mariners, and it wasn't pretty. They took care of business, Seattle coming into town. And I think, though, as we look into the Tigers today in this spot, we'll talk about that a little bit later. And also, we did see a nice outing there for Chase Brown. I think he had 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. Okay, so that checked the box, but then got a little greedy as we took the Reds on the money line, and they lost 3-2 to the Rockies. So, hey, it is what it is, but 2-2, we'll take it. We'll move on, and let's get into the picks today. And the first game we are going to talk about, that will be Chicago and the Yankees. All right. This is one where we've seen a pretty substantial run there for New York, right? 5 straight games for the Yankees have cashed in on that, just winning straight up. But we have seen a little bit of a betting trend between these two clubs. And I tell you guys all the time not to bet against a streak to end. But today I think we have to. All right, so 10 straight overs, I think, and it actually might be even more than that, where they've scored 9 runs or more for the Yankees. And the Cubs, not too shabby either. 7 out of their last 10, they've scored 9 runs or more. This is one where we're going to still make a play on it, okay? We look at the pitching matchup, Max Fried and what we get from Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd has been substantially improved this season, 9-3 on the year. All-star there for that lefty, 2.52 ERA, and I do like Max Fried quite a bit. So a little lefty on lefty action. The one thing that does always kind of get me worried in this direction is the short porch that we do have in Yankee Stadium. But for me, and my money, I'm going to kind of go across the grain on this one, okay? I know the handle is favoring the over, so a little contrarian play for me. Stock up Matthew Boyd. Yes, we want to talk about the Yankees and what they've been doing from an offensive standpoint. And I mean, what can you miss on this one? Okay, day baseball. The Yankees lost. I'm sorry, they beat the Cubs 11-0 yesterday, 8-1 against Minnesota, but is where we saw the Cubs the game prior. And then, you know, the Yankees, I do think we will get lower scoring, okay? But like I said, guys, we've had pretty much 10 runs or more in the last 5 at least, and dating back, I want to say 10 games, where the Yankees were on a 5-game losing streak. Now they're on a 5-game winning streak. So very interesting game to handicap. We're going to kind of be shooting totals here in this spot. And on today, they're going to be all totals. Best bets are all totals, just full disclosure. So give me Cubs, Yankees. We're going to go under the total of 8.5 at -122. Next game, Seattle and the Detroit Tigers coming into town. A little Comerica Park action as we do look for Casey Mize to record a win. Kirby for the Mariners Hey, I could see it. I could see another under in this spot, right? Kind of similar to what we saw yesterday as you look at kind of the under 7.5. Not cashing yesterday, and that's where it should have, in my opinion, when you see that kind of on paper. But who would have thought that the Seattle Mariners would have beat the Tigers 12-3 in that spot with Skubal pitching? So Casey Mize record a win. I think that door is still wide open, but for me, it's Tigers or nothing, minus 122. May get a lower scoring game here, but I'm kind of leaning away from the usual, right? This is kind of similar to what we see in the NBA a little bit. Outside of that, not really in any other sport, but with the All-Star breaks coming up, approaching, this is kind of where, people start thinking about, hey, I got some time off with the family. Let's just kind of pull up a little bit on the reins. So that does play a role. And you could see a little bit that with the pitching. Pitchers will go a little deeper into games, knowing that, hey, might be missing my bullpen, stuff like that, if they're not partaking in the All-Star game. So keep that in mind. So pitcher outs these last few days leading up till the break, that's something that you want to go over with if you do want to kind of handicap it that way. And yeah, pitcher outs and also kind of strikeouts, all that good stuff. I do think it plays more of a role in the pitching department. Okay. But next game we're going to look into, Pittsburgh and the Twins, okay? Almost went right back to it. There isn't a pitcher name for the Twins, so when they do that, I kind of shy away from it. But for me and my money, the 9 might be a little bit too much. Burrows has not really given up that much for the Pirates. I just don't know who's going for the Twins. But I did want to kind of look at that under 9. So depending on who's going on the bump for the Twins, it probably would kind of lend in that direction. I just don't trust them, or either team, I should say, hitting the baseball, and that's kind of where I stack up. All right, Braves, Cardinals, Eric Fetty going against another pitcher not to be named for the Braves, so hard to really handicap this game outside of a prop perspective if you were on the Braves offense, but I still like the Cardinals here, minus 125. The Braves aren't going to pull a rabbit out of the hat, and all of a sudden we got Greg Maddux going against Eric Fetty. I think the Cardinals take care of business at home, minus 125. The Braves, call it what you want. They've been hitting the baseball better. Offensively, the numbers are there, but still 3 out of their last 10 games that they have won. And I will tell you guys, they have faced some pretty shitty competition, so amongst some of those losses. So that is something very noteworthy. And the Braves would be one of those teams and clubs that would start to pull up a little bit. But I think that the Cardinals here, if you do want to trust the numbers, that's the correct side in the spot. Dodgers, Giants, another game that we have to talk about. And boy, can the All-Star break come quick enough for the Dodgers, as they have dropped 7 straight games. I repeat, 7 straight games. That unfortunately cost me a pretty decent penny last night. I was out at a Greek festival, kind of just screwing around with a little $100 fun coupon, and made a little 6-7 leg parlay with a little bit of a little gyro bet, if you will. Had a little few more. Few too many of the, I don't even know what that liquor is, but Greek festivals, fun time. We had some fun out, but I ended up putting together one of those parlays that everybody does and regrets doing, and the only leg to pay about $3,500 off a $100 bill was that I missed was the Dodgers to win the game, and kind of upset a little bit, didn't play that plus 1.5 run line. It wouldn't really change the payout all too much, and them losing 7-6 last night, I believe, it was one of those ones too where I didn't feel like hedging it. Just kind of went to bed and got a tea time this morning. So just waking up and praying, go to bed praying, and waking up with a loser. So shout out to the likes of the San Francisco Giants. Could have made my weekend real nice, Clark. But that's kind of where I'm at. I do like the Dodgers again. Hey, it got to happen one time, right? They got to win one game. And so if you do want to kind of back the Dodgers in the spot, I don't blame you. But the Giants, I think they have the potential. This game, I will say, with Ohtani probably only going 2-3 innings, don't be scared of an over in this spot. Okay, Ralph's been but I think the Dodgers are going to get desperate. They're going to really start being aggressive at the plate. And the Giants, they're hitting the baseball as well. So keep that in mind. I think the over is the correct side for this spot, though. Marlins and Orioles. Let's take a stab at it. This is my kind of sleeper play as we do look at my man here for Miami, young righty, as we talk about the likes of Jansen Junk. Okay, so there you go. For all you guys, go get yourself a Jansen Junk autograph. He can be in the same, you can kind of categorize it right next to the guy from made his debut for the Yankees that we talked about earlier in the week. I think his name was Schlittler or something like that. That's another one for the yearbook. So we'll talk about Jansen Junk here. He's been pretty solid. Okay, almost a one whip as we look at kind of what he's been able to do. And the one thing I'll tell you guys is he goes, he's been going 6 innings in his last couple outings. Okay, giving up 1-2 runs. We saw him kind of going against decent ball clubs as Cincinnati. They've been hitting the baseball, and he did pitch against Minnesota back in the early part of July. But I think this is something where we could catch the Orioles sleeping. The only thing that worries me is Camden, as well as the likes of some humidity. But I'm going to be playing on the under. Okay, so another under for me. I think that we will get a lower scoring affair. Almost thought about the first 5 under for me, but as we also look at the counterpart for the Marlins, we'll look at Trevor Rogers, okay? 2-0, 1.57 ERA. Hey, this is something where you look at kind of a lefties versus the Marlins too. That could play a role, but he's going to give you 6+ innings, and it's been pretty solid. Okay, so sub 1 whip, keeping his earned runs really good in July. Hasn't given up an earned run in July, so knock on wood, I probably jinxed the young man, but I do like the Baltimore and Miami game going under the total of 9 at -108. Gives us a nice little 4-4 overtime, extra innings push, if you will, and that's going to be how I bet the Miami and Baltimore game, my second official play. Mets and Royals, shout out to Juan Soto and the likes of Francisco Lindor. I got to talk about this little game a little bit, get some off my chest. I want to tell you guys, read a little rumor there. My guy Hosey from Cleveland, there's some rumors that the Mets may be going after him, and I would cry, but I digress. Probably my favorite Indian of all time, outside of maybe probably have to give it to Jim Thome. Was kind of my model growing up in terms of how I played the game. Yeah, probably Jim Thome, probably my number 2. Kenny Lofton, close third, but we'll kind of leave that for another day. But the Mets and the Royals, as we look at a Brazo band going against Cruz. Honestly, I've never seen the guy pitch. 5-2 on the year, 3.99 ERA. Can't give you a really good indication, but if you're going to give me -125 with the Mets going against the Royals and arguably the better pitcher, hey, why not? So I do like the Mets quite a bit here at that short road price. I don't like Kansas City's bats, but I could see this one going over the total if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Okay, Nationals and Brewers. Hard to bet against the Brewers here. Probably the most underrated team in baseball, in the top 3 at least. But going against Washington, I do like... and actually, I do apologize. Those pitchers pitched yesterday. So for the Mets and the Royals, today we get Lorenzen and Montas. So apologies. That is a little addendum to my breakdown. Okay, I had the wrong window up, but I do want to talk about that. Because it does not really change the handicap. Okay, I still think that you arguably get the better pitcher with the Mets, and I think this one is an over spot. I think the Mets roll, and I'm not going to bet the Royals. Okay. As we get into the Washington Brewers game, as I talked about, okay, we do have a little bit of a difference here as Oga Swara. Okay, so there you go. Say that one 10 times fast with some Miller Lite flowing through your veins. 13.5 ERA, 0-1 on the season, going against Brandon Woodruff. Okay, very impressive for the Milwaukee Brewers. Not a lot of data points to go off of, but I still like Milwaukee here. If you can find a dance partner, sure. And arguably, if you want to just play the law of averages, why the hell not? Probably, the Reds, high money, Reds off a bounce back, and the Brewers here, -250. Those are some pretty solid spots. But if you wanted to kind of just play the law of averages and that the Dodgers eventually win a baseball game, regardless of any kind of handicapping, today would be probably the day. Okay, and if it's not today, then it's going to be tomorrow. But the Dodgers, I would be very shocked if they did get swept by the Giants. Okay, so just throwing that one out there. But I would, like I talked about, like the overs and Dodgers team totals going over, more so than just kind of banking on picking the right day that they decide to win a baseball game. Okay, but no play for me officially. I'm just trying to say, if you do like the Brewers, it's going to be -1.5, or find a dance partner for them to pair up with a 2-leg parlay. Okay, Guardians and White Sox. I don't really like this one. I know they have the better pitcher, arguably, but if you guys watched the games yesterday, yes, without really saying too much into it. These games are basically coin flips, okay? Chicago, I know the record is a little bit better. Cleveland's record is a little bit better than Chicago's. Sure, I understand that, 44 and 49, conversely to 32 and 63. But honestly, this is, in my opinion, Cleveland on the road, this is more of a coin flip. If anything, the White Sox plus 135, that's kind of where I'd stack up. These pitchers are basically identical. Chicago's at home. There you have it. So unless Chicago can't hit the baseball, this is a coin flip game that you could get plus 135. So if you're just betting based on value and not just what should happen and going off of that and kind of handicapping baseball correctly, you really should be betting the White Sox in this spot. But I'm not going to do that because of other reasons. But my numbers do say that the White Sox will win the game. I shouldn't say that. Or a better bet at plus 135. Okay, that's how you word that one. All right, Rays, Red Sox. That's kind of where we look for Baz, Crochet. I like Boston today. Okay, I just like Boston at home. Bregman's back off of injury. I had a double last night. I do like Red Sox. Crochet backing him. Baz, I think he had kind of a rough outing last time out, but he's been pretty solid. But I do think the Red Sox roll. I also like the over 8. Just anytime you get the Red Sox and Rays, two of the hottest teams in baseball offensively, squaring off for me. This is an over 8. I'm not going to bet the Red Sox at minus 185, and I'm not going to take them on the run line, even at plus money against the Rays. But this could be another dance partner. Okay, so if you do like that whole thing I was talking about, the Red Sox and Brewers might be pretty fair to go alongside even the Reds, if you will, okay, off a bounce back. And that's what we talked about, Rockies, Reds, off a bounce back. I want to say one thing about the Cincinnati Reds, okay? I understand Chase Brown's a flamethrower. I understand what the Reds have been doing offensively, but they're a 500 ball club, and really and truthfully, even with Singer going, and I will say this, guys, the pitcher that Colorado's rolling out today, I probably could take him, I would say about 4 years ago, and we probably could do some damage off of him, okay? But young kid, Bradley Blaylock, I don't know if this is actually no, it's not. Okay, so looking at his recent starts, this is one that you got to look at kind of just, hey, you give up 13 hits in 3 innings, okay, 12 runs. They really wore him out there. Obviously, the bullpen was on vacation, but they're trying to break him in, and I think the Reds could just have a field day here, as you can look at a minus 155 price there on the run line. This is a clear cut for me. You either got to play this game minus 3.5 Cincinnati and just do a crazy alt plus money line on the Reds, or you got to stay the hell away, okay? That's just how I view it. I'm not going to include Reds at minus 300 in any parlay unless it's something like yesterday where it was a little bit under that, and you could find a auto strikeout prop to dumb down that money line price, even though we did lose that ticket, okay? But that'll be a pass for me. Next game, Rangers and Astros. We're going to kind of go a little contrarian here for you guys, all right? This is where we look at a total set at 6.5. We did hit the over in that game yesterday in terms of where we were at with the Rangers and Astros. I look for the same, okay? And the reason why I want to bet this game this way is Jacob deGrom is pitching, and for the likes of the Texas Rangers, he won't be pitching in the All-Star game, okay? So they will, I should say, ride him a little bit harder in this spot, and that's kind of what I'm looking at within my handicap. So if you do want to take DeGrom outs over, I love that. The Astros bats going against Framber Valdez. The Astros bats going against Texas, but the Astros have Framber Valdez on the bump. He's been fantastic, 10-4 ERA, sub 3, 10-4 in the year, sub 3 ERA. For me also, a lot of people look, this is also what happens a lot. There are times when I did it. Yesterday I was a victim, and I cashed that bet within the Skeens game, right? You look at two aces basically, and you say, well, Hunter Brown's the ace for Houston, but you get my point. You get two big name pitchers going at it, right? You're going to get a total around 6.5, around 7, and everything about your first instinct says, okay, how can I bet this under? Sometimes you have to look at it a little bit better, okay? And I just think there could be some wacky stuff going on in the state of Texas. I think that DeGrom, it could work the opposite way. They could either ride him into the sunset and really leave him out there because he won't be getting work for a week, or, he might just subsequently get a little early exit. Who knows? But I do think that we look at Framber Valdez going against this Rangers club. I think the Rangers stay hot. I think the Rangers plus 105 is a great bet as well. Also, Texas plus 1 at minus 155. You can find that on DK. I'm not scared of a little Texas Rangers action, okay? But for me, guys, I think the value, what I'm going to be betting is the over 6.5. I'm a very stock up guy on this Rangers lineup. Corey Seager's been on fire. So give me the Rangers, Astros over 6.5 minus 115. Okay. Next game, Phillies and Padres. Great historical matchup. Darvish going against Zach Wheeler. Okay. I want to see more out of Darvish, right? We got exactly what I thought we delivered on in his return from injury. But hard to bet against Zach Wheeler. I know they aren't home. For all you guys out there playing those sneaky little betting trends. Zach Wheeler's not pitching at home, so keep that in mind. The Padres are live, right? That's what everybody wants to hear, but not so fast. I do think that we have potential for another over in this game. Not going to get involved. I don't want to bet a game with Darvish, personally, just not yet. And that's kind of where I stack up in this matchup. So this is a pass. If you do want to get involved, Wheeler strikeouts, gotta love it. But I just will tell you guys, Zach Wheeler on the road, be careful, all right? Especially after kind of that offensive onslaught the Phillies put together last night. Well, I shouldn't say that. That was 2 nights ago. But still, Phillies were victorious. I can see the Padres a little sneaky in this game, all right? Diamondbacks, Angels, Gallen going against Kikuchi. For me, guys, this is a little Angels money for me. I'm just, Kikuchi's been fantastic. As long as they hit the baseball, I think they can win this game at home. And at almost even money, like we talked about, the best bet for this game would be just finding a way to bet the Angels at this price. But for me, I'm not going to get involved. I got my 3 bets. We'll see kind of what happens a little later on in the evening, see how we're doing. But the last game we're going to talk about, Toronto and the Athletics, all right? Yesterday I made a little late night play on the over. Like I said, that was one of my leans on the card. It wasn't an official play, but I didn't give it out. I gave it out as a very strong lean on the channel, but a little personal play late night within the Blue Jays and the Athletics is where I was at. And that's kind of been the storyline, right? And I talked about it a little bit. We get Gossman going against Lopez. I think it's all the same today. It's hard, especially when they're playing in this Sacramento, that the way Toronto's hitting the baseball, and the A's, for my money, not too shabby either. Okay, so I do think this game can get over 10 runs very easily, just the same as we saw last night. So that's where another strong lean, but not an official play. Okay, so let's recap the official plays, and I do apologize. The espresso's going a little bit kind of thick through the veins this morning, and we're trying to get jazzed up before we take the box. So 9:30 tea time. We'll see what's up. I'll let you guys know tomorrow as we talk the Sunday picks, but I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's do a quick recap for the plays. Yankees, Cubs, we're going under 8.5. Marlins, Orioles, under 9. That's a minus 108, under 9. And the Texas, we're going to take the Texas Astros game over the total of 6.5. So 3 totals. I know a lot of you guys out there like to call me out, say I can't bet totals. Well, here you go. Here's your chance. A great opportunity to fade me as I give out my 3 favorite totals of the day. I don't love the card. Just being honest, there's a lot of better bets probably out there. It's a coin flip kind of game. I kind of tone it down a little bit, like I said before the All-Star break. That's just me personally. You guys can do whatever you want to do. But for me and my money, those are my 3 bets. We'll kind of maybe splash together something. I'll send it over in the Discord, maybe a little 4, 5, 6 leg parlay I kind of craft up. We'll see kind of what happens with that, but enjoy your weekend. Some good weather. Let's go get it and cash some tickets. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Cheers.